Okay, I'm working on my 95 Buick Roadmaster. I'm today we'll be replacing the distributor, or the OptiSpark. I guess I got one of the bad ones because mine died. Yep. So I figured I'd show the entire journey, kinda. Just in case anybody else wants to do it. Because it's so much fun. We should all do it. Hey. I've already done this job once, that's why I have a brand new water pump there. Because I already replaced mine and it didn't work. So I get to do it again. Fun for days, fun for days. Okay. So first, we get to pull up this lovely fella. So that thing consists of two, I believe they're halves. Need a 1/2 inch socket for that, I mean. Pull up both those two. And then we gotta take off all these clampies over here. I've already kind of started because I wanted to get it done, but I thought maybe somebody else might be intimidated by the job, and it's really not a hard job if you know what you're doing, so I'll show you. I've seen people post these about like Impalas, but they're different. It has different things here, I've noticed. When I did mine, I was like, nope, that's different. Anyway, let's pull off your air filter, get that out of the way, pull off this little hose here, and all the clamps. I've already loosened mine, but you can pop those off. I did it ahead of time. They pretty much take a flathead or if you have the right socket, but whatever. And then there's one clip on the bottom right here. Ooh, it's not focusing good at all, huh? Focus, there we go. Anyway, that pops off before you pull it off. Okay, and then set this where you won't need it for a while. I'm fighting a breeze here, so of course. Okay, let's pull up this little hose right here. Get that out of our way. It just lifts up, kinda. Not easily, but easy enough. And at this point, we can lift the whole thing off. Just kind of grab and lift, finagle it around, and there we go. And now I'm going to pull up that one last one right there to make it a little easier. I got this handy dandy guy right here I bought at Lowe's. It has like all your favorite sizes in one. You can just pull them off and swap them. They just lift off and you can change sizes, so pretty neat. And it has more sizes in the back right here. You got your 10s and your other ones. So it has the 8 in there too, which is the size that I want to use to get that off. Hold on a second. Okay, so that's already broke loose now. And then we'll move this little clip right here, just lift and kind of pull it. Okay, and then bam, now you're exposed. There's your thermostat. You could do that if that's the job you're doing. There's basically the water pump if that's the job you're doing. At this point though, I'm going to drain the antifreeze because you got to do that now, so that's the part I hate the most because this is brand new antifreeze, so I really want to save it. I mean, I guess it's not $1 million for this stuff, but I just drained the last antifreeze and that was a loss. So I'm gonna get a bucket underneath here. You can reach down. It's on the driver's side there, but I'll never get a view of it. I'm just gonna put the camera down there so if I can't show it to you. But yeah, you can see the white cap in the bottom down there, kinda. I hope it's showing up good. It's hard to tell, but basically it's on the bottom driver's side. Just get in there and turn that loose and start draining it. But I'm gonna get that started draining really quick. That's definitely a two-handed job, so I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see she's draining there. You can see I'm over on the passenger side. There's the driver's side. You can see where it's coming from. The radiator itself only holds, you know, what is that, a gallon maybe in that bucket? Nothing crazy so far. But I mean, that should be basically what you need to drink, because then we can pull the hoses at least. Now the water pump's going to hold some inside of that too, and that's going to be a different battle. We're going to lose some of that, but that antifreeze is not looking too green, is it? That's definitely more orange than I want, since I've already flushed it several times. This damn rusty block, I don't know what the guy before me ran in it, but it must have been piss and vinegar. Well, anyway, okay, that's that. Okay. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the two top radiator hoses. Well, I mean, I guess these two here. I mean, not. I guess the top and the bottom you could say, but whatever. I'm gonna get those two off so we can pull this water pump. All right. So yeah, clamp there, clamp there. Let's pull those two there, and I will pull this guy right here too. So we'll take off all three of these hoses here. That way I can get the water pump off. And if I guess when I walk over here, I guess there's more. Yep. Okay. Long story short, we'll remove the 1, 2, 3. Am I putting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'll take off that clip right there for the temperature doodad. And yeah, we'll be able to pull the water pump off after that. All right, let's do that. Hold. Okay, so right now, if you pull off the hoses, I got up these 3 hoses here and I bungeed them over here to keep all the fluid from dripping out. And then I got my bucket down there because the water pump will leak out of that bottom one specifically right there. I got the, I guess we'll call it the upper radiator hose, tied, you know, bungee to the body over there. You could do whatever. You could take them off, whatever, doesn't matter. I just... Anyway, so at this point, we need to loosen the water pump bolts. You can see one of them right there. And then there's obviously one below it. You can, watch, I'll even zoom in. Boop. Okay, you can see it right there. Right. Oh, where's my finger? Okay, I got a finger somewhere. Right there. Oh my god, I'm gonna focus. Okay, never mind. Fine. Anyway, you can see 1 and 2. Of course, the other side's the same. 3 and 4. Now these bolts you want to be really careful with. Don't go too fast. You know, be gentle on them. These are the ones that can snap off the block. I got lucky on mine the first time, and I actually went and bought new bolts from AutoZone because I did not want to put the originals back in because they were a little corroded, a little funky looking, and I'm not gonna risk them snapping off from the block because I'm not drilling, I'm not welding or tapping. These are the ones you want to baby. Hold on a second. Okay, well, my neighbors are outside yelling at each other, but anyway, the size you're gonna need is a 9/16. For some reason, I have a random snap on. I don't even know why. Anyway, 9/16. And yeah, you'll need a short extension, little 3-incher. I'm using my ancient Stanley. I don't know if you remember these, but if you turn the handle, they actually ratchet. It was the coolest thing back in the day. I don't know. Shame they quit making them. Or if they still do, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, back on track. Okay, so yeah, so break loose these 4 very carefully, nice and slow. Don't be a savage. We don't need to destroy them. I'm going to break them loose. I'll be right back. Okay, so when you pull these off, they do have liquid behind them and they will leak. So make sure you got your bucket underneath. You know, for me, I'm pausing this, but for you, it should be instantaneous. You should be able to see before you see how juicy my ground is. I actually put Loctite on my bolts and I put them back in because I'm not having these bastards freeze up in there. Anyway, so they should all be the same size. Let me double check. I put washers because I just got regular bolts from AutoZone. So these aren't the originals, but they work. Yeah, that one's already black and ugly. Ugh. Gross. 1, 2, 3, and 4. not even looking at the right part. Looking at my hands, not the. Okay, so at this point, after moving those four, the water pump should pull up out of the way, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, am I missing something? I hope not. That's off, that's off. It is seated in there, so you might have to give it a little pry or something, but... Yep. Okay, so... I'll need to remove that. Okay, let me get my pry bar. We're gonna pry on this thing, gently. Okay, this is why I'm making this video, because apparently I'm not the brightest person in the world. I was about to pry on it, and I remember that the water pump is held on by 6 bolts. Why didn't I remember that? Somebody come hit me with a tack hammer. There is another bolt. There's 2 hidden bolts. There's one. Let me get my pry bar and I'll show you. So you remove the top one here. You remove the bottom one there. There's one right here on the side. Right, you have to reach in this mystery gap, and there's one there, and then there's another one over here, right there. I'm touching it, which I guess you look in your car and see the location. I forgot about those two. I just did this job, so just hopefully watch the whole video before you start working on your shit. Otherwise, you'll be like me being a dumbass. But okay. Too late to remake the video, so I guess if we just keep going forward and hope you guys watch it first. Okay, I'm gonna break loose those last 2. This one I'm gonna show you though, because it's hidden behind the coil, so I'm gonna show you that one specifically. But this one over here, you just have to reach into the mystery gap there. So, and for that one, I think we need a longer extension. Let's walk over to the mess that is my toolbox, and we'll get. I bought one of these from TikTok. I haven't tried it yet, and I'm pretty sure it's going to break the first time I do, but if anyone's tried these, I mean, I'm interested. Probably more good for this job, but we'll see. That's a tool for a later date when I don't mind breaking a tool off. Okay, I will break loose this one, and I will show you that one, so give me 1 second. Okay, so that bolt's out. I did use the original bolt for that one because these ones are shorter. These ones are like half the size of the other ones. You can see the difference here between the 2. So you have 4 long ones, and then you got 1 short one. And on this side, you got something completely different. So I'll show you what I do on this side. Okay. So over here, you have some extra room. My clamps are broken, but you might need to do that if yours is on. Remove that clamp. Then for these, I remove these 2 right here. All you gotta do is push on the wire. You can see how they like push in. And when you push in, you can lift them straight up, and then they'll come off. Ugh, I can't do it with one hand. I can't do anything with one hand. Yep, I need 2 hands. Jesus, see, there you go. You just have to push with one hand and pull with the other, but they pop right up. Actually, it's kind of easy. But now you can grab this guy and you can kind of move it out of your way just a little bit. Let's undo this guy here. Okay, that clamp right there. So we'll just put this guy here. Boop, popped right off. Okay, now we move that. Now this whole wire will get pretty far out of your way. It's way up here now. I zoomed in, jeez. Anyway, okay, now let's go and do the coil. We'll grab that. Pop that off, okay. Now we are almost there. Okay, so that's how you replace the coil, I guess, huh? So we get in here. So we need to remove this bolt here. More of a stud, really. And then its brother right here. When you take off the 2 right there, so we'll move those. It's same size, and that's why we need the long one. I'm gonna pull these 2 right here right now. So we're gonna remove those 3 things right now. Okay, so the first one, the stud that comes out on this side, should look like this. That went in there. Now this side over here has a nut first, and that holds a couple of ground cables here. These ones, you're gonna move them out of your way. And I gotta move that other stud right there. Same principle. And then our coil pack will come off. Or our coil, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Do as I say, not as I do. Or vice versa. I don't know. Oh, getting old is so fun. My back. Where did the youth go? Oh yeah, working. Okay, well the coil is on, done. Right there is the other one. This one's longer. Watch. I can compare the two. You can see that one goes on the left, or the passenger side we'll call it. And this is the driver's side because it has to hold the other goodies. But now we can get our coil and lift it up. Boop, out of the way. Nice and pretty. I've replaced that too. At least the bottom part, because that was bad, I thought. My car stutters and bucks and does all kinds of weird, neat tricks. Neat stuff. Okay, now we can get down to the ones we actually have to get to. So, as of now, I'm gonna zoom in so you can see maybe from a distance, and then I'll. You got a nut. You got a nut there. Boop, and then right below it, there you have this air doohickey. It's right there on the bottom. That has a bolt or two that holds that on. Those ones are a smaller size, but I'll show you what they are in a second. We have to pull that all the way too. That's why people hate this job. Because I mean, it is technically a lot of parts, but it's really not that hard. It's just take off a bolt here, take off a bolt there, do that 20 more times, and yeah, you're pretty much there. You know, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Okay. So I pulled off this top one here. That uses the same size that we've been using. Wherever that there. I think I'm zoomed in. This looks way too close and personal. See? I told you I was zoomed in. You didn't believe me. Okay, anyway, so yeah, so I took off this top one here. Now, the three that hold on this guy here, this black canister, there's three of them and they're number 10s. There's one on the top right here, and there's one on the side right there. I'm so afraid to drop my phone into that juice. I'm trying to keep it back. But every time I kneel on this poor bumper, every time I kneel on that, more antifreeze comes out, so I can't move the bucket yet. So I'm gonna pull those three without dropping my phone. I'm gonna buy a GoPro to stick to my head. So this is nope. Okay. So I pulled the three. I had to stop recording for a second because the window's so bad, but I pulled the three little number 10s off. You can see like the back side of this one here. And then I just pulled this guy over here out of the way. It's like just wedged it in right there temporarily. That way I could reach there. So in there, I'll zoom in again, even though. Okay, so right there's another bolt that you have to remove. And this is where I noticed that mine differs from the Impala, because when I watched the video of the guy working on Impala, he didn't have that in the way. He didn't do this part, so that's why I'm technically making mine, so you can work on the exact same car. I pulled this one off. Now, the first time I did this job, something went wrong and a part broke, and I'm going to show you. It's not important, but this guy needs to slide out of the way. But you see right here, whoop, I'm still zoomed in on it. Darn it. Told you I was going to forget. Okay, right here on the bottom, there's supposed to be another bolt right there that held it on. Mine, I don't know if it's already broke or what, but after I moved this bolt right here, the thing just fell forward and that was already broken. So there's going to be another bolt on yours. I'll show you where it is. Zoom in, you can see. That's not going to focus, is it? Right there. Yeah, if you pull the spark plugs, or the wires right there, then you can get to it. I labeled mine 1, 2, 3, and 4. with a little paint marker. But if you come down here, see, watch, I can pull them. Maybe. Those are on there really tight, aren't they? You know, if you pull up a couple of those wires, you can get all up in there, and yeah, why is that so juicy? That's kind of weird. No, it's paint. Anyway, on yours you probably need to remove that bolt right there, so pull the wires. On mine I can't do that, or there's no point, because yeah, it's broken. But anyway, so the water pump specifically, whatever, let's remove this one last stud that was being held on by that bracket. We'll pull up that one last 9/16, and then the water pump we'll be ready to remove again. Here comes the wind again. Just it's getting awful. So the trees moving, and it's a nice day for March in New Mexico. I mean, you know, I'm out here in shorts and blue jeans and wife beaters and stuff. Okay, let me put that last one, and then watch this. I'll just do it right in front of you. Let me get that on there. Bam. Okay, put that out of the way. Let me grab that little stud. Okay, and that's the last one. Oops. Okay, now. Okay, yeah, there it goes. Yeah, see? Okay, I broke loose. Ah, there's more. And a piece dripping on the floor. Okay, well, anyway, I broke loose. Yep, there we go. This is where two hands really come in handy. Okay, let me pull up the spark plug, or the coil wire here. Let go. Okay, there we go. Never mind. It's draining. Okay, so there's the water pump. Like I said, mine's brand new, so look at that. Look at that antifreeze. That's like rust. I don't know what's wrong with this block. I've already replaced the antifreeze a few times. Okay. I'll put my brand new water pump there for now. So if you're just replacing your water pump, there you go. If you need your OptiSpark, there she is. Next step, we're going to break loose. So we need to take out this guy here, the crank pulley, I guess you call it, whatever. I call it the big guy, but we're going to remove the big guy there. There's 3 bolts. I say I break them loose while the belt's still attached, because it is a little easier. Last time I did that, I took off the belt first, and I had to use a screwdriver and put it against the OptiSpark. It's not ideal, so let's not do that this time. Yeah, okay. And then also this guy right here, don't lose this, because that's, you know, for your water pump. You want that. Put that somewhere nice and safe where it'll be sure to fall in and get lost forever. Okay. Now let's break loose those 3 there. Those are some big guys. I think they were 5/8, weren't they? They're not 9/16. I think it's a 5/8. Let me find out. Okay. Want to make a bet how long it takes me to find the 5/8? What are you? 11/16. One of those weird sizes. 15. Okay. Yeah, I really need some kind of organizer in here. Oh, 5/8. Okay, good. Yay. Alright, let's see if I am correct. My memory from 3 weeks ago is good enough. Oh, look at that. Like a glove. Now let's see if my Milwaukee will break it loose. That would be handy dandy. It does not. The whole thing is turning backwards, which I don't like. Okay, so I'm gonna have to stick a screwdriver in there and pry it. Darn it. Okay, interlude again. Darn it. Okay, so I broke loose those 3 with with a screwdriver. I pry it in there. It's not optimal, but I'm replacing my office spark anyway. If not, then I don't know, whatever. Now I'm about to break loose the, well, not break loose, but take off the belt, I guess I should say. So I can just put a little pressure right here, and then you can see you pull it off right there. So I'm gonna do that right now. I won't even pause it, I'll just set it down. Okay, boop, it's off, that easy. Let's take this off. Remove this extension. Just make my life easier. Okay, so now, okay, let's pull the belt off of here. Put that aside. Let's remove these three. Now, the original video I watched for the Impala, he talks about using a puller for this. But honestly, I gave mine a couple of taps with a hammer, and it broke loose. It's not that you need a puller, but sometimes the center shaft right here gets a little rusty, and it kind of gets stuck on there. But technically, you shouldn't need a puller if you give it a couple of jiggles. Like if you don't want to go to the store and rent one, it will come off. With, you know, you can see like right now on. So yeah, you shake it on this side, pull it with one hand. Shake this side, shake that side. Yeah. It's not easy kneeling like this. Boom, popped off right there. In real time. There is no key pin, there's nothing. It's just the bolts that hold it in place. You don't have to worry about dropping nothing. I'll show you right now. At least on the Buick, I should say. There's no key, there's nothing to worry about. My rubber is shot on this poor thing. I don't know how important that is, but anyway, the Opti spark is now completely revealed right there. In this video, it's only at 27 minutes. For my actual work time, probably 30 minutes. But still. Anyway, at this point, I would recommend getting something to label these, a piece of tape. Put 1 piece, 2 piece, 3, whatever you gotta do. Just make sure you don't mess up them. You know, you don't want those crooked backwards or something. Mine are already labeled, as you can see, by the little orange tallies. You can get marker pins at Harbor Freight or wherever you use your wife's nail polish, or if you are a female, then use your nail polish. I don't give a shit. Okay, so for this, there's one plug right here on the top that runs the actual Opti itself. We can pull up this guy right here now. We don't need this in our way right now. I think it's kind of glued on there, damn. I made the mistake of painting my part just because I want it to look pretty. I didn't let it dry long enough, so oh well. Everyone's allowed to be a dumbass sometimes. That was my day. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. I'm going to get off all those spark plug wires, and then we'll remove this bad boy together. Okay, I pulled off all, well, 9 of them. I bought this guy from Harbor Freight as well. They really come in handy for grabbing those damn things. I probably didn't even damage any of them, even though I put that spray paint on there. I just wanted to look pretty. Don't blame me. We all do dumb shit when we're young, or when we're 40, whatever. Anyway, so now I technically have a 3/8 in my hand, but 10 mil, 3/8, whatever. We have to pull off the couple. I believe it's three. Let me look at the new one and double check. Is it 3 or 4? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I missed that show. Back in the day. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so not a problem. Once again, I'm going to need 2 hands, but I will show you when you pull up the electrical guy too. Don't forget that. So I'll pull the electrical and the 3 bolts, and that Opti will be off right now. Like as soon as I go, like boom, you know. Okay, all three are off. Once again, they're all the same size. They're all these little guys here. Hopefully I don't break them either, otherwise I feel like these are less easy to break, but those head bolts, you know how they are. Okay, so I got those off now, and now all I gotta do is grab it and pull it. And, oh, what the hell? The neighbor's tree's leaking on me. Keep getting these things hitting me. Like seed pods, these guys here. I don't know what that is, but no thank you, you know. Stop hitting me. Okay, let's grab this and pull it out. And I can finally figure out why mine's acting so stupid. You know, there's some seals right there. If you want, you can replace them. Up to you. I'm not going to. I mean, the new one comes with these guys here. These two. Well, there was a big one there, but I'm just going to lube mine up and leave it. I'm too lazy to do it now. Okay, now we got the part up. There is these two hoses here. The ones we pulled off in the beginning. One of them attaches right there to that blue that you see. And then the other one, well, that's the one we took off in the very beginning on top of the air intake thing. But yeah, these two just pop off with little baby clamps. Nothing crazy or hard there. And one should be bigger, one should be smaller. Yeah, you know, it should be simple. I'm gonna pull those two, and then we'll tear this apart. In order to tear this apart, they really do make a special tool. I was able to get 3 of mine, so it has four of these little bolts like this. It's like an inverted star. Mine are pretty well shot, but I'll show you the new one, just in case you want to take it apart. So here's a brand new one, never touched before, and you can see that inverted star. It's like most stars poke you in this one, so this is like a male star versus a female, if that makes sense. Anyway, at AutoZone, it's not cheap. It's like 10 or 15 for this set, but it's this guy right here, the torque socket, and this guy right here. Honestly, I mean, it's worth it to me to buy it because one, it's a tool I didn't have. You know how, you know, so you can get it like that with them. So yes, it's at AutoZone. It's worth the 10-15 bucks. I don't know if it's a part number. I could show it to you. Maybe have them order it if you're watching the video first. But if you're going to take yours apart, definitely recommend this set. It is totally worth it. I'm not going to take it back and claim it didn't work. This is perfect. I want this. So anyway, I'm going to tear mine apart. My OptiSpark. I'm going to tear this old one apart and figure out why it died on me twice in a row when it shouldn't have. But yeah, I'm going to pause it for now, and I'll show you the inside of this guy before I turn off this video. It's already at 33 minutes, so hold. Okay, I just loosened up all 4 of them, and this is the inside here. So I already cleaned, I cleaned my points last time with a wire brush, but you could see this scoring here, and that one on the top wasn't that bad 2 weeks ago. I don't know if more moisture got in there. Ooh, look at these 3. That's not good. They weren't cracked last time. Okay, well, weird. They're all pretty burnt on the inside there. They're not exactly shiny anymore. I don't know if maybe that was part of the reason it quit running, but I mean, my actual, you know, because I wire brushed it. This is actually a lot cleaner now. Because I did clean it. It was full of gunk on the tip right there. You still see all the black right there. I mean, obviously, but it was like bad. But these were all bad last time. I'm betting you that these 2 right here there's probably a short on the inside. Now they're not, because you can see the other ones how they're supposed to look. I mean, they have a little bit of white on them, but compared to these 2, you know, these 2 are chewing the lead paint off the bars. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, that's kind of it. I mean, once you're here, you can just put the parts back on as needed. I might record that. I've never combined 2 videos into one before, but I'm probably going to try that with this to see if it's doable. But if I can't find a way, then I guess just put it back the way you took it off. Play this video in reverse. I'm not sure, but obviously you put this back on with the 3 bolts, right? That's easy. And then you put that guy back on, and then the water pump. I mean, you know, you guys are smart enough. If you got this far, then putting it back together should be easy enough, right? But if I can put a video of me putting it back together, I will. But I've never had luck with combining two videos, so I'm gonna try, but no promises. If I can, then you'll just go to part 2 immediately. I'll say like part 2 and then back. If not, then well, there you go. You got it off. So now all you gotta do is just put the new one on, and now another thing. So I watched a video of a guy who bought one of these, and he got it from Amazon, or like Derek from Bicycle Garage says, the Amazon site, the jungle site. His was off by a small degree. It was like, instead of being here, it was like right there, and his vehicle didn't even start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take mine off and I'm gonna compare it. On the back right here, there should be the 1 and the 6. So I'm gonna aim like that directly at 1, and then I'm going to like right there, okay, directly at 1, there we go. And then I'm going to mark off so it's basically facing almost perfectly at my connector there, I guess. And then I'm going to get my new one, and I'm going to make sure that it matches up before I put it on. But I mean, I don't know, it's just something I'm going to do to see, but I guess maybe I could record that, I don't know. Okay, hold on one second, I'll record that. Okay, so here we are back. I have the brand new one here and the old one there. I put the back, because you have the 1 and the 6 o'clock, I put the square, not the two funky ones, but the square, directly on 1, and I put a piece of tape so we could see that from there to the beginning there, certain degrees. I'm going to measure it in a second and find out what that is. And then I did the exact same to this one. I put the square on 1, I put a piece of tape. Now, to me, just eyeballing it, it doesn't look like they actually match up very good. So this one right here, you could see where the metal bracket is. It kind of like lines up with like, maybe not quite halfway, but like off a little bit. But then this metal bracket right here, I mean, if you go in, it's missing completely. What is that even, you know? So yeah, I want to do some measurements here, but it is lined up on 1. It's the same, right? Look at that. So if that's the case, then it's going to be off and it won't spark properly. It's going to be advanced or retarded on the timing, and that's not going to work. I wonder if they move the points maybe to offset that. I mean, this is new territory for me too, because let me see if the points are separate or different. Okay, so we got 1 point right before the thingy, and then there. Right here, we got 1 point. Well, the points look the exact same to me. Okay, interesting. So this might actually be off. I guess I only know for sure is put it on and try it, but I'm not liking the way this is looking. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my tape measure to do some measurements. This is weird. What if I actually got one of those messed up ones? Of course, I might put it on. It might work perfect. I don't know. I guess I'm not helping. I mean, I'm just helping you guys get the part off the car. At this point, I don't know. Interesting. Okay, well, damn. Okay, so just to cap off the video, I even went down to O'Reilly's and I bought one from them and waited for it to come in. Honestly, like for some reason, I think the original one just has like a bigger, like from A to B than the two new ones. You know, I could be wrong, but it's just like, I'm not sure. But, you know, technically both the expensive one and the Evil Bay one, I mean, they both are off just a fraction. But, I mean, maybe that's just, you know, maybe they match up with their own points better. That I don't know, but I'm just hoping that's better than this right here, because my car was backfiring and sputtering and clearly worthless. So I'm going to put one of these two new ones in, and I got this one from Evil Bay for $60, and then O'Reilly's has $200, and same as AutoZone, $200. So I honestly and ironically enough, the one from Evil Bay, it actually sounds quieter when I spin the one from O'Reilly's. It has like a, I don't know if that's going to show up or not, but it just makes a little bit of noise, just a little But for like a brand new part, I don't want to hear any noises because I'm not doing this job again tomorrow, so hope not. Cross your fingers. Okay, this is day 2. I'm putting the car back together. This is a video that you might not see if, if I can't combine the two. But anyway, I'm putting back on my OptiSpark. On mine, I have a problem with water getting in. Apparently, that's why I'm doing this twice now. But I'm gonna smear a bunch of RVT on there. It may not look pretty. I don't care. I'm not going for looks. I'm going for it not dying, in a week again. So, yeah. In case you forgot, my original one looks like this on the inside. I can only assume because water's getting in or something. I don't know. I mean, this might be the original one on the car, to be fair. I'm not sure, but I painted it white. That was stupid. Don't do that. It sticks. It sticks and snaps. Don't do that. Anyway, so where we left off on part 1, if that ends up like this. So I put my hoses back on. It's much easier to put them on now, so you don't have to get under the car, because that way you could reach them. And I put that on there. I RVT'd anywhere the water would drop down and hit. Bloop. So if it helps, yay. If it doesn't, yay. I don't personally care. Okay, so now we shall put it on. So at this point, like on the back, you have the two weird ones. You have the square. Now the square needs to be lined up with that peg on the right side in that hole. Right, let me zoom in. Right there, you can see that little peg on the right side. Let me see if I can get my finger in the way here. Where? Right there. Boop. Yeah. So you want to get that to line up. Now, if you don't RVT it like a crazy man, and if you did buy the sockets to remove these, oh, I'm zoomed in again. I keep doing that. What if I just push one? All right, auto zoom. Okay, this job would be a lot easier if you take off the cover. That way you can grab the, I don't know what that part is. We'll just call it the spinning electrode. You can grab that and help you guide it on. Me, I'm going to do the shoot and pray method here, so basically I'm going to line that up on that side there. So when I turn it like this, when I push it on, it should technically line up. Like, you know what I mean? It should be in the right spot. It might be a little bit of trial and error left and rights, but we're going to find out. We're going to see how close I can get this to being on there. Okay, so yeah, so once again I shall pause and we will see. Okay, so I got a bit lucky, and I was actually able to get my second try. I just put it on there, and I was able to push it and give it a little wiggle, and boop. So now I haven't put the bolts in, but you can see how it gets flush. So now I just get my 3 bolts that I took out, and I can put those in, get them started, and then I can put the plug wires on next. So yeah, get your 3 bolts on and tight, these little 10 mils, and then push on all 8 of your spark plugs, and I'll do that real quick and I'll be right back. Let's check it out. Okay, so as of right now, you should have something like this. I should have remarked my paint on my wires there because it was rubbing off and I didn't realize, so I had to go through and look at them. It's not too bad because the firing order, it basically goes like this is the driver's side over here. This is the driver's. So with that, with the white jug here. So just keep that in mind. So basically it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I mean is that this is simply like side number 1. This is bank 1. That's bank 2. And if you look on the side right here, they actually make it easy just in case. So 1, 7, 3, 5. So obviously the first one, then the last one, then the 2 middles. And then this side's about the same. 2, 8, 6, 4. So once again, number 2 in the front on the passenger. And then the last one. And then, the second from the last, and then the second from the front. It's not terrible. And then you just got to go over here. Now, when you're on the side right here, it's still just 1, 2, well, 2, 4, 6, 8, or, you know what I mean. So I'm on the driver's side, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so your last spark plug over here would be side number 7. So if the back one's number 7, then it goes to the second one up right there, and your first one goes to the one right there. So it's pretty easy if you're stuck on that part specifically. I mean, just do the math. Just 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then 2, 4, 6, 8. So if you got stuck and you don't know which wire goes where, it is kind of hard to reach them because they are hard. They're down in there, but with a little effort, if you didn't label them and you kind of messed up, that's how you would find it. So let's hope you didn't mess up and I'm speaking in vain here. Okay, now at this point you want to attach your coil wire because it's harder to fish it through that water pump. It becomes kind of a pain in the butt. So we'll put that on right now, and then we will, I guess we got to do that bottom wheel there first, huh? I guess we're putting that wheel back on, or the bottom pulley. Call it what you want, potato. On mine, I did get my my cheek poker. I got the wire wheel, and I kind of brushed it down a little bit. That way it slides on and off easier. And a little shot WD-40 never hurts either. That way, if you have to do the job a second time, or you just don't want to fight it, then at least it slides on, because it should just slide right on that shaft there. But it's not all fun and games. So let me grab that part. It'll be this guy right here. And one thing I messed up on the first time is that this side here has a smaller lip, and this side has a much bigger lip. Yeah, I put the smaller lip in first, and that's not what you're supposed to do. So the big lip goes inside. So right there's a huge, groove. And you can see the markings right there too. You see how it's eating away. Yeah, I didn't do that the first time. I had it backwards because I was not paying attention, I guess. So learn from my mistakes. You can see how it's a triangle there with the 3 bolts, and right here you got the triangle grooves. So we'll be learning together. Okay, pause. Alrighty, so yeah, we have the coil wire on now, and then we have those 3 bolts started. Now here's the thing about that bottom one. I can't improve this, but I don't know if the holes. Oh, hello. You're getting way too close to me. Okay. Anyway, okay, dude, you're like, if you peck and claw my eyes out, I swear I will avenge. I'll be like the Daredevil, Dude, you're like, oh god, okay. I know this isn't part of the video, but shoo. I respect you, my friend, but okay, yeah, just keep going that way. I'm sure there's bugs and snakes and stuff. I'm not afraid of them, but I don't want them to be afraid of me. Just go away. Okay, the first time I did this, those 3 bolts there, I don't know if they're actually symmetrical to each other or not, because the first time I did it, 1 bolt would go in, but the other 2 wouldn't line up. So I got and I spun it one hole, and then 2 lined up, but the other one wouldn't. And when I did it a third time, all 3 lined up. So if you're in a problem with those bolts, those 3 right there lining up, maybe just try spinning it 1 notch, because that happened to me. I don't know why. It looks like they're perfectly triangular to each other, but for some reason my 2 of them wouldn't line up. I don't know. That's just a tidbit in case it happens to you. I hear my friend yelling. Oh, there he is on top of the wall. Damn roadrunners. Cool little birds. Look like raptors. Okay, anyway, so I'm putting this back on. Now, another thing that we have to address is the water pump gaskets. The blue there and the blue that's visible kind of there. Okay, those ones I just put on, and they've only been tightened once, and I've only drove, maybe 100 miles on it before I had to redo the job. I'm going to attempt to reuse them. I know it's a little stupid, then they're only $3 a piece. I should just go down and get them, but I'm going to shoot at trying a little RVT on this side. It might not work, I know. For the people who actually know a lot about cars, you know, if you're worried about it, just go buy new gaskets. Like I said, they're only $3 each. Just ask for a water pump gasket. The Fel Pros are, that's what these are here. In fact, if you're buying a new water pump, it comes with 2 gaskets, which I didn't use because I wanted the Fel Pros to see if they're better. Anyway, I'm going to try and reuse mine. That's why I'm kind of milking it right now because I'm waiting for that stuff to dry. I guess that's nothing you need to watch, but I'm going to go ahead and crank down those 2 bolts down there. This is where the problem comes in again, is I need to tighten those, and it's going to spin if I try, so I need to stick the screwdriver back in on this side, you know, like basically right here. I'll stick it in, and it's going to probably hit the damn OptiSpark. You don't need to put 1,000 psi on those things, but obviously it needs to be tight enough, so I'm not really 100% sure. I don't know. Maybe if I got my pry bar there, maybe I could put it on the actual engine block instead of on the OptiSpark, but that is a flaw. I don't know of any way to stop that from spinning aside from putting in a screwdriver. I mean, you know, I did try with a belt to get the bolts off. You could wait to tighten that when you put the belt on, and you will get a lot more of a PSI, I guess we'll call it, per square inch. You will be able to tighten it more, but it won't get 100%. The only way I know to get, you know, a good tightness is to stick something in there and go that route. It's not ideal, but we want that tight, because if that pops off on the freeway, then life's gonna really suck. There goes your belt, and then you're running on battery power. You got about 20-30 minutes if you're not running the heater or the AC or something stupid. Anyway, blah blah blah. Okay, I'm gonna tighten those 3 down, and then I'll come back when we're ready to do the water pump, I think. Yes, sir. Okay, so I thought I might just go ahead and show you the struggle, you know, just in case. So yeah, so you can put this on right there, and the engine, you know, the pressure in the engine will help you a little bit. But, hold on. Why is it fighting me? On my ratchet. Okay, ratchet was stuck halfway. So here I am trying to tighten it, and the whole thing is spinning. That's not ideal, of course. So I can get them all a little bit past hand tight. But now, as you can see, all 3 of them are making it spin. So, now we have to battle that demon. We have to get those 3 tight. So I'm going to go ahead and pop something in there, and I'll tell you if I find a better way. Okay, so I got all 3 tight. You can see my screwdriver pried in there. I didn't go crazy on it where it's definitely going to crack the plastic. I'm pretty sure it is resting against the actual distributor. So I'm just coming in, I'm putting it like on the bolt, and I'm giving it like a bit of oomph, you know? Maybe like 30 psi, you know, like if you had a torque wrench. I know there's a better way to do it. Maybe this is the wrong video if you're trying to find that specifically. They're all tight, and I did this exact same thing last time, and it stayed on there perfectly fine. So if you're scared, maybe it's Loctite, but yeah, I had to do that. So here we are, trying to get it on. This isn't a perfect channel, I admit it. Anyway, now you just grab this and you give it a little shake, and then this guy will pull out. It's stuck on the darn handle more than anything. Okay, well, it was stuck in there a little bit. The handle was bigger on the end right there, so I had to kind of put it on and loosen it up like just a fraction. It didn't even loosen the bolt, it just turned it going counterclockwise, but now they're on and they're tight. Next, water pump. And this is where the fun begins. So at this point you want to make sure you didn't lose this guy. Right here, this is your, we'll call it an extension. So you could choose to either put it on here, or you could put it on the water pump. That's dealer's choice. I'll probably just put it on here to make life easier. Just get it in the slider on right there. Okay, now that gets you past there. Now, water pump. I'm gonna get these wires out of the way. So the ironic part is the expensive distributor I bought from O'Reilly's, it didn't come with a new wire, but for the distributor, this guy here, but my cheap one did. So I'm going to use the new wire just in case that was bad. That runs through the block and it plugs in right here. You can see your oil cap. Okay, it plugs in right there. Now the original one's kind of stuck in there, so I'm just going to cut that damn thing off. And then the new one I'm just going to run up a little higher right there. So I'm going to run it through like under this crap right here, get it, you know, get it up in there. Boom. Okay, there we go. Fits nice, perfectly right there. Boom. I'll put it on. And then the original I'm just going to cut right off, so that's all out of my way. And now the water pump's going to go in. And let's just hope it doesn't leak. Because if it does, I'll be making one of those videos next. Alright. Well, surprise, surprise, Murphy's Law just kicked in and kicked me in the ass. So this is my original plug, the one that I just cut off. Why won't you focus? Literally focus right there. How are you not even seeing? There we go. Anyway, it has the thing right here on the bottom and the one in the middle right there. Well, of course, the new one doesn't have that. It just has the two on the bottom there. So, of course, now this won't plug into that. And so now I have to either cut and splice, or I can't really replace the pigtail because I don't even know where that goes. I ain't dealing with that bag of worms. Nope, nope. So, that's unfortunate. I don't know why they can't just make it the way the original one was. Yep, I will have to, I'll have to cut that off and splice on the original one. Yep, because this right here was my original plug-in that goes in the distributor. It was in pretty bad shape. I don't even want that back on there, so. Man, you know, life loves to give you lemons, don't they? Okay, son of a gun. Okay, so quick update. I took the lazy road. I found my Dremel here. I put on a small carbide bit, and I simply just cut out the bad blockage. I don't know. I just Dremeled it out a little bit, and boom. So now I have the new clip. I didn't splice anything. I just Dremeled away the bad parts. So it pushed on pretty easy. Only took a couple seconds. There's the original. Okay, so that took a total of 5 minutes to find the tools and everything, but okay, now we're finally back onto this part. At least you don't have to watch all the BS part. If I had a cameraman, you'd be watching all the crap. This video will be an hour long. Okay, let's put that water pump in place and see how easy that is. Last time I had to fight it because the splines don't line up perfect, and ugh. We'll see what happens this time. Let's give it a shot, huh? All right, cool. Okay, so that's on. I got all 6 mounted up. Remember, the one on the far right on this side has that really long stud. And then the one on this side had the original bolt. That's the short one in the dead center. The top and the bottom, you can see the top one there. That one has the really long ones. And there's one on the side, as you may remember, right in there. Boop. So there's the top, and then there's the middle one. And there's a bottom one you can barely see the head of there. So it has 4 longs, 1 short, and 1 stud. There you go. Yeah, put that back on. I haven't cranked on them yet. I just beat them with this guy here, but I'm probably gonna give them a little extra oomph just to make sure it doesn't leak. And then next we'll be putting on this bracket here. Remember that goes next. And then the coil pack. And then the hoses. I mean, this is basically a done job already. Like it, I mean, this video's only 20 minutes, plus the original one was 30. So like, if you're really good, you can have this whole job done in an hour. If you had all your tools already ready and stuff, I'd say an hour work time. More, I mean, I guess you could set aside 2 hours if you're slow, but I don't know, 2 hours is a lot. It's an easy job, especially if you're more able. I'm old and broken at this point, but easy job. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna tighten those bad boys down a little better, and we'll be back. Okay, so quick PSA. I did give them all the tiny little oomph with the regular ratchet there. I'm still zoomed in, aren't I? Oh, I hate doing that. I gave them a tiny boop, but remember, I don't know if the block is aluminum or steel or cast iron. It doesn't matter. You don't want to break a bolt off in that, so don't over crank them. You can always tighten them more later if you have to, but you can't loosen it if it's already snapped off, so you know what I mean? Just tighten them enough. Okay, just had to get that out there just in case anybody, you know, is like, oh, I'm gonna beat the bam, and then bam. Like, don't do that. Don't be that guy that has to over tighten them. I mean, it's on there, it's good. If it leaks, by all means. It won't be that hard to get back to just this part here. You might even be able to reach it with everything on. Don't overdo it. You'll regret that a hell of a lot more than a tiny leak. Trust me. Okay. Now I'm going to put on the coil pack. I just wanted to, I wanted to make sure you guys didn't overdo it there. That's all. Okay. Okay, so I got the bracket put back on, and I got that weird black, some kind of weird vacuum thing. I don't know what it does. It's one of those parts that isn't really needed, but it's there. Whatever. I put those the 10mm ones back in there, so that's all done. Ugh, RVTs everywhere. Anyway, now I'm gonna put the coil on. I just wanted to like keep you guys like, so put that on, and then you know, so bracket, and then that. Now, on the bracket, if you did have the bottom bolt that I don't have, you remember from part 1, then at this point you would put on the spark plug wires on this side, which you can still reach pretty darn easy. They're very much right there in your face. Of course, thankfully I don't have that anymore. And all it does is hold that damn air pump in place. Like honestly, who kind of cares? But you know, whatever. So now I'm gonna put the coil on. They go on with those two. Right now, I should have these 2 studs left. I should have 2 of these guys here. The long one, remember, goes on the driver's side, like on the right, because it has to hold those grounds in place. And the short one goes on the left. So for you, I'll be back in 1 second. For me, it's probably gonna be 2 minutes, but that's okay. I'm probably gonna grind it too, because I like this to be super clean. I don't know if it's one of those self-grounding parts, but I have a lot of bad luck with self-grounding parts, so I like to make sure everything is really clean. So yeah, okay. All right, so that part's done. It's in place. The coil's on. I was counting, and it took me exactly 1 minute to actually get that on, just for fun. Okay, so now I'm gonna plug in this electrical connector here because it is that time. Boom. And now we can put in these 2 guys if you removed them. For me, life's easier if I do. 1 and 2. Okay, those are in place, nice and good. Okie dokie, that guy's on, so that's ready to go. Now we can start putting stuff back together, yay. Alright, so, what's next? You guys tell me, I don't know. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, so we're going to plug in the coil now. This is a weird one, so let me get back over here so you can see. The first time I fought this because it's a weird part. So it's 2 clips, but they mount together. So I fought that for a while. You have to like kind of push it in and then push. So now it's 2 clips that are made into 1. And then when you push that on, it only goes one way. So yeah, it's very weird, very awkward. It's a weird thing to fight. But anyway, so we'll push that onto the front right there. And then, yeah, keep getting packages coming by all day. Have to keep stopping it. Hold on. Okay, so it should look like this with the black on the left side and the gray on the right side. You can't put it on the wrong way, but it does have these grooves on the top right here. Now this goes into the air box. We won't worry about that until the end. Same with that one there. This plugs on the top of the coil. We could do that now. This guy here. That one can go right there. Nice little click. Perfecto. Okay, good. See, now we're essentially done. I mean, look at this. It's the whole job, and for what you're viewing, less than an hour. You know, all I gotta do is put on the belt. The hose is just pushed on, of course. I'm gonna be putting new clamps on because I tried to reuse these clamps, but my hose is old and expand, and it leaked, and that's what made this problem. That's why I'm redoing this, because it leaked into my damn distributor, and once you get water in there, it's pretty much shot. Technically, it has two air hoses on the bottom to suck out the water. Mine does not. It is not sucking out a damn thing. So, okay, pause. Okay, so at this point, I just put on the belt. Okay, looking good. Also, a second ago, I told you something wrong. I told you this electrical connector goes to the air box, but actually goes right here to the, we'll call it the temperature guy there. So yeah, plug that there, and then you put on your belt. I put mine on crooked right here a little bit. You can see it's not on purpose. I need to redo that a little bit, but I just want to keep you guys updated as I do things. But now I'm going to put on my water hoses here, and I wanted to be quick about it before they leaked out all their goods. So these go to the heater core. And you know, while you have those off, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to blast some water in those guys, because it'll flush out the heater core. I sprayed them both ways. I sprayed in the one and let it gunk out the bottom, and I sprayed in the bottom and let it gunk out the top. I just want to make sure my heater core is super clean. That way you don't have to replace it probably ever if you do that good enough, but whatever, up to you. I'm going to put those two clamps on, and I'm watching the car, not my video. And I'm going to readjust that belt, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put on the top radiator clamp there, and I did double down like I said I was going to. I got those goofy ones from AutoZone that kind of loosen themselves up over time. But with the two of them, it shouldn't leak, at least, you know? So I'm going to do the same to the low radiator side, but before I do that, I'm going to tighten my drain plug. And I'm going to put antifreeze in through here, because that's just a lot faster way to get in the system than putting it in the goofy tank over there. So I'll fill this up first, and then I'll push it on really quick, and then I'll deal with that guy afterwards. But you know, I consider this priming the system, and so yeah, I'm gonna put some antifreeze in here, and we'll get it done. All right. Okay, so at this point I got some antifreeze in the radiator. It was harder than I thought with that hose being kinked. It didn't work out the way I planned, but I got it at least half full. I doubled up on clamps on both sides, so at this point I might have to go and say the job is basically done. I'm gonna hook up my air box now, of course, and I'm gonna see if it actually starts. But as far as the actual working part, that's kind of it. So yeah, I mean, I know it's a lot of on and off. I don't have a cameraman. I'm trying to use two hands here. You know how it is. But yeah, at this point I assume you could probably put the air box back on yourself. If this helped you at all, you know. At least maybe leave a like. Hey, leave a like if you don't. It'll piss off the algorithm gods. Okay, well, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, and I'll take a picture of something specific if you need, you know, a viewing or something. But all right, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.